Hey guys, it's Bando. This is Brexit Bando, and sorry it's been a couple of days. This has been a really weird day. I woke up with toothache, and then one of my fillings fell out on the other side of my mouth, which is really interesting. So I've got to enjoy the wonders of the UK's dental industry today, which is absolutely garbage. So what am I going to be talking about? Well, I'm talking about this model here today, which is a 40k model. It's one of the sort of Black Library-esque tie-in models, and it is a character called Minka Linsk. I've not read any of the books that Minka Linsk is in. I have not even heard if they're good. I've not heard if they're bad. But there has been certain controversy about this model, and some people think it's very silly, other people are quite passionate about it, and some people are getting quite angry about it. Right off the bat, there's a couple of people who are angry because it's just a random guardsman getting a model when there are a million other different models out there that need new kits, which I can understand completely, from a certain point of view. But the bigger complaints come from a group of people who have issues with this model's face. And the common thread is that Games Workshop is not very good at sculpting female faces. And to be honest, they're not far wrong. They are not great. A lot of the CAD drawings are rather angular. They're rather masculine in their features, and they're quite large. Now, unfortunately, this is due in several parts to the nature of CAD sculpting, probably the inexperience of the sculptors, and also the requirements of a 32/28mm model, especially a heroic scale model. The miniatures need to be readable, which means features need to be over-exaggerated. However, you can look at models like the Diaz Demonettes, which are quite feminine, and yeah, they do have good faces. So I think a lot of it is coming from the sculptors themselves, and a lot of it is also the not material, but the system they're having to use. You can't produce particularly fine detail using CAD software because it has to use a CNC machine to carve away the material to make the mould, basically. But a lot of people have been complaining and saying that this is ugly, it's an ugly face, and then there's been a lot of people getting really bent out of shape over people wanting pretty models. Oh my god, my plastic space marine isn't fuckable, and that's the sort of thing they're complaining about. And I don't think that's quite right. Because being attractive, being pleasant to look at, I can't think of the word I'm actually looking for here, but being pleasant to look at is actually quite important, because you like it or not, or disagree with it or not, this is a character for the good guys, and traditionally throughout media, the good guys are supposed to be depicted to be the good guys. They're supposed to be clean, they're supposed to be strong, they're supposed to be honourable, they're supposed to be good looking. There is a reason that the traditional heroic archetypes are strong and muscular, and they're attractive, and the bad guys are often weak and ugly. Gollum would not work as Gollum if it was played by an at his peak Dolph Lundgren. It doesn't matter how good an actor Dolph Lundgren would be in the role. because no one would buy the fact that he's this weak, horrible, corrupted monster that's been corrupted by the power of the ring. You know, it's why actors like Alan Rickman play really good bad guys, because they look like the bad guy. I mean, I'm sure if you just think about an actor who plays bad guys, if you think of an actor now, you'll be able to picture some of the ones who just naturally fit those roles because of the way they look, the way they act. And yeah, okay, understandable, the thin ice we're on about people looking a certain way, being certain phenotypes and falling into groups, but stereotypes do exist, and in the world of fantasy and acting and storytelling, you know, that is important, because you need to look at a model, and within a second you need to look at the you need to look at everything. You know, that first impression needs to be, I know that's a good guy. You know, that's why Space Marines are Space Marines and Chaos Space Marines are Space Marines with spikes. And a lot of people are angry that this model they're saying it's ugly. And the people are saying, oh, you know, you just don't like real women, and you don't like that women have different looks that aren't just beautiful. No, that's not what people are saying. They're saying this model does not represent this character. This is a quite attractive depiction of a young lady. Proportional wise, you know, everything about this is an attractive young lady. That is not the same character. Yeah, okay, you could say possibly it's more like this one, but it's not that one. And I'd say it's probably not really that one either. Or that one, but you can't really see that one very well. It's also why I'm not a big fan of this artist. I don't know who this artist is, who's doing all of the new Codex covers. Can we actually get that artwork? No, I don't think so. No, it doesn't look like it. I'm not a big fan of this artwork because I feel it's just everything's too ugly in it. And I get it, you know, the Imperium is not supposed to be the good guys. That's a whole different argument. Yes, they are. But like you can see here, this is just nasty. It looks like the Gene Stealer one's really bad as well. You know, I can't fault the artist for their artistic ability, but I don't like that style for that reason. You know, this is good because he's quite clearly a hero. So it's all about being readable. And while it's a perfectly serviceable head, giggly, this is not this character. And I would think this would be very hard to capture in plastic at 28mm. I think you may be able to do it in resin, but I think a lot of the details here are far too fine to sculpt at the level we are at. But that doesn't mean they don't exist. There are sculptors out there who can do some fantastic female sculpts. They're just not working at Games Workshop. That's why a lot of the Sisters of Battle models get lambasted. Games Workshop. Oh wow, we're upgrading our warehouses. I wonder if this means it'll stop sending out the wrong items to people and accidentally sending out pre-release items, because that would be good. Ooh, indigestion hurts. Right, so okay. Is that a bad head? Nope, not really. It's an older character, you know, combat veteran, with a scarred face and everything else. That looks absolutely fine. That's terrible. Possibly because of the painting. You don't want to accentuate the lines in a woman's face, particularly. They shouldn't be as dark as they are for anyone else's. Also, the hair is awful. That's just a bad sculpt, I think. And that's the same face, so yeah, that's fine. Okay, this is not a bad face. Scarred, which fits the character. Proportions are good, and it represents the piece of artwork that, you know, it was supposed to be representing. Not a bad face. Not much to it, but again, not a bad face. See, it doesn't have the strong lines around the face, so not bad. Colours are a bit odd on that face down there, but again, this is a person who's supposed to be dying, so we'll give them a pass. It's angry. It's not great. Yeah. Not a fan. Hate that. That with the weird spikes through the skin and the eyes. No, pass. Gross. Again, terrible. Like, what's going on with the hair? And the lines. I mean, it's not awful. It's really hurt by the hair, though. The hair is all flowing up. The parchment is all flowing up. The icon is flowing up. The cape is flowing up. Why is this one piece of hair coming down? Also, these should be flowing up as well. Other than that, you know, meh. These are the starting to get to some of the mixed bag ones, because you just have a few that are a bit bad in them. Can't get a close up of the really bad one, but there's one that has like a 5 o'clock shadow. Celestine and the Living Saint and her Gemini, absolutely fine. Fine faces. Games Workshop is capable of doing, you know, good faces. Again, spitting image for the piece of artwork it's supposed to be from. You know, more problem with the foot than I have with the face on this one. Those would be so incredibly uncomfortable to wear. Also, this is just a terrible sculpt. I know what it's representing, but it just looks awful. But no, face, you know, it's scarred up, it's older. Not a problem at all. Again, not a bad face. Get out of it. Yeah. See? It's not bad. The mainline Sisters of Battle, however, do have some bad faces in there. See, that's a good one. That's a good face. Also, a thing with black skin tones is that the shape of the face is important as much as the tone. I found that with some busts I've painted, where they look better if you tweak the shape of the face slightly. Doesn't always have to be, but it does help sometimes. I think this might be the one. That's not too bad, you know, she's kind of skinny and a bit angry, bored. It's not a bad face. That one's pretty bad just because of the mouth. No, they won't give us the close-up of the really horrendous one, which is not being shown. That's useful. But I think it's that one there. There is one of these Sisters of Battle model that's been painted with a 5 o'clock shadow, and that looks really bad. So yeah, they are capable of doing it, and they're also capable of really, really messing up female characters. Oh wow, they've really cut that back, haven't they? Is it still under this? No, looks like they got rid of it. There used to be a really horrendous one with a pair of glasses holding a stick. This is not great, but this is an older model. This is one of the more early CAD Sculpt models. The Order Xenos. Not a great looking face, but not bad. Bald people always do look a bit weird, especially bald women. Not in a derogatory way, but they do look just a bit off compared to a person with hair when you look at them. Don't know how I can explain that without sounding like an arsehole. They do, just because we're so used to, like, our brains are so used to having hair in there. It's just weird. But no, I like this. The eyes are a bit too almond shaped. They're a bit too sort of Eldar-ish. But the lower face, the lips, they're really well done. Yeah, the whole shape of the face is a bit Eldar-y. If you can't sculpt faces, just put a doily over them. Not great, not bad. There are much worse crimes on that model than the face. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Great model, silly head. I think that's all the women in that set. Yeah. Not bad, not great. So yeah, that's it. Lots of people mad that this doesn't look like this, and yeah, I'm kind of with them. I wouldn't really want to be spending £25 on a single guardsman model. Would spend 25 quid on a large scale bust of that though, quite happily. Yeah, maybe I'll get around to the reading them at some point. Anyway, my name is Bando, this is Brexit Bando. Have a great day.